Luther King, to many Americans, even to many conservatives, was this virtuous Christian pastor who just wanted peace and for society to judge people based on the content of their character rather than the color of their skin. Schools are named after this guy. You spend years learning about him as a kid. He's the only man to have his own federal holiday, plus monuments, statues, streets. You get the idea. Turns out, everything about this guy was a lie. First off, MLK actually rejected the divinity of Christ. He wrote a whole essay saying that calling Christ divine is actually detrimental and harmful. He also criticized the Bible for containing legends and myths. He even described the virgin birth as downright improbable. This is not very Christian, but he was selected purposefully to be the figurehead of this movement rather than other influential black figures at the time, guys like Jackie Robinson, because it was thought that he'd be able to use Christian language to appeal to America, even though his actual agenda was like completely different. And that was when it was his writing. It turns out he plagiarized nearly everything else. Scholars from Stanford University and the King Papers Project found in 1990 that MLK plagiarized nearly all of his other works, including his doctoral dissertation, but Boston University refused to revoke his doctorate, even though in literally any other case they would have. What a privilege.
Okay, but like, what was his real agenda?
Dude, so true. Turns out King was a communist for his entire career. He attended the Highlander Folk School in 1957, which was a Communist Party USA front for training radicals. His right-hand man, Bayard Rustin, founded the Southern Christian Leadership Council with him, was also a young Communist League member who attended Communist Party USA conferences. One of his main advisors was Stanley Levinson, also happened to be a big financer and supporter of Communist Party USA. Ghost wrote a ton of stuff for King, including the famous I Have a Dream speech. Also, King's biographer David Garrow revealed that King would frequently call himself a Marxist when conversing with close friends. He also totally supported reparations and affirmative action. In fact, he gave a Playboy interview in 1964 where he essentially called for a $50 billion program to basically just like give black people free money. Also, as his close friend Ralph Abernathy spilled in his memoir, King liked to embezzle donations for alcohol, drugs, hookers. On speaking tours, he would hire prostitutes for hotel orgies lasting days at a time. One time, he was caught on tape actually laughing while a woman was sexually assaulted in front of him in a hotel room. Even the night before his assassination, Abernathy said he bedded 2 women and beat a 3rd in his Memphis motel. The FBI has all the tapes, even though a judge ordered them sealed until 2027. That's how King spent his last night on Earth after delivering his biblically inspired mountaintop speech in Memphis. Lastly, the claim that MLK was some like peace-loving guy, not exactly true. He of course went to great lengths to present himself as this peaceful activist, but that was mostly an optics thing. In one of his most famous speeches, King rationalized riots by calling them the language of the unheard. So yeah, King was just trying to like cover his ass. He knew that the fear of rioting and looting could be used as something that could coerce white people into accepting race communism. In fact, this was so obvious that there were literally newspaper cartoons at the time making fun of how ridiculous and false this all was. I guess the peaceful protest strategy in 2020 wasn't really that new. So no, MLK was not a real Christian, he was not a virtuous man, he was not a real doctor, he was not some colorblind conservative, and he was not committed to peace. He would be just as woke as all of his colleagues ended up being if he were still alive today. I did a whole hour-long breakdown of this on my YouTube channel, go check it out.